So basically today we will be discussing skills development in general, the benefits of where all your training fits in, and how our products can assist you by maximizing on your skills development spend. By implementing skills development programs, you will be addressing the skill shortage in your specific industry, build an employee pipeline, personal development, increased performance, and productivity and skills diversification. Great, so let's start. The first thing we look at is our key measurement principles of skills development. The following criteria must be adhered to at all times and fulfilled to receive your skills points on skills development. Firstly, we look at your workplace skills plan, which is your WSP, your annual training report, your ATR, and your pivotal report. And all these things need to be in place. Otherwise, it will lead to your company not being able to participate in skills as a whole. The focus here is also on priority skills programs specifically developed for Black people, where priority means core, critical, and scarce skills. We also look at your levyable amount, which is your total wages, your salaries for that, your last audited financial year, as well as total employees for that measurement period. For the purpose of this webinar, we will look at a generic skills development scorecard as a whole. As you can see here, this is a complete breakdown of the points allocated to a total of 20, excluding your bonus points at the bottom. When we look at 2.1.1.1, we look at your skills development spend on Black people as a percentage of your levyable amount, which is 3.5%. That will give you the 6 points allocated. As I mentioned before, this is based on your total payroll for the last financial year. The next topic we look at there is bursaries, which is 2.1.1.2, which is bursaries for students that are available for 2.5% for 4 points. This will be for your degrees, diplomas, or your types of certificates that you get at higher education institutions. 2.1.3 looks at your disabled spend, which is for your employees based on 4 points for your levyable amount. Please remember that you cannot double count under items 2.1.1.1 and 2.1.1.2 or vice versa. The next category we look at there is your head count, which is your Black people participating in category B, C, and D programs. B meaning your internships, C and D meaning your learnerships, as a percentage of your total employees, which is 5%, available for 6 points. Lastly, we look at your bonus points, which everyone always scratches around to collect, is the number of people that you absorb at your company at the end of the program for 5 points at 100% absorption. So this will obviously enable the entity to successfully secure a long-term contract of employment and place the learners permanently. Absorption must happen at the end of a program, which means it cannot happen before the program is finished, and it cannot happen months after the program is finished. So that's really important to remember. Next category we're going to look at is training expenses. And these are the types of expenses that you're able to claim under skills development. I'm going to list them here so that you can see. Firstly, we look at cost of your training materials, your cost of your trainers, your cost of your training facilities and course fees, salaries and wages, accommodation and travel, and administration costs. As an example here, we can look at one of our solutions, which is, for an example, our trainer container. And we can say we have, for example, 10 people that we are developing in a rural parts of a project with this trainer container. And this will enable us to upskill these learners within that rural environment. And on that, we can obviously claim books, stationery, travel for the facilitators, even your coffees, teas, and sandwiches. And these costs that you can pay also, that you can claim also towards your skills development facilitator for looking after and reporting on this program. Just on a side note, you'll have to achieve a sub-minimum of 40% as the base of the total points available, excluding your bonus points. Not achieving this target will result in you being overly discounted a level. The next topic we will look at is tax rebates. This is always nice for a discussion, as this enables the company to get benefits from tax. Firstly, we look at Section 11, apologies. Section 11 that refers to the taxable deductions on income, and Section 12, which specifies any form of additional taxable deductions. There are two types of tax rebates available, which is your 12H and your 11A. These tax rebates are very beneficial when implementing learnerships and claimed correctly. The difference between the two is 12H is a learnership allowance that was introduced in the Income Tax Act to drive employers to develop their own employees, and 11A states that tax may be deducted on any expenditure or losses incurred in order to conduct business. When we look at Section 12H, it can be broken down as per the table that you guys can see. Firstly, we look at able-bodied learners. Your annual allowance could be from NQF level 1 to 6, which is up to 40,000 Rand, and NQF 7 to 10 for 20,000 Rand. Next up is your disabled allowance, which is NQF level 1 to 6 for 60,000 Rand, and NQF level 7 to 10 at 50,000 Rand. These allowances can be broken down, and obviously we will note that prorated amounts should apply should the program not run for the full 12 months of the tax assessment year. So for example, if your company's financial year end is in February and you implement the learnerships in August, you will only be able to claim from the registered date of learnership until your next financial year end. Sorry, my voice is going away. This will be for 7 months. You will then on your IT180 be able to claim the first portion of the rebate for the 7 months, and then in your next financial year, the remainder of the 5 months available at completion. If the learner does drop off before then, sorry, you will be able to claim for the period that the learner was active on the learnership and not the full amount of the rebate available. Okay, for an example, I've brought up how the IT180 looks like, and this will be the form that you will be completing to be able to claim on your 12H. We need to remember that these documents get submitted to SARS and that they have to be completed correctly. Information needed for the IT180 is the registered name of your employer, your levy number, full names and ID number of the learner, date of entering into the registered learnership agreement, the completion date of that learnership, and if the learner is employed or unemployed or even disabled. You also need to state the period of the learnership and also the amounts claimed for that rebate. We can assist you with the completion of this form. Next, we look at the ITR D. This is a document that is also very important as a backup of your submission of your IT180. This document provides credibility to when you are able to claim on the disabled learner for your tax rebate. The ITR-D is a confirmation of disability and is seen as a viable document in evidence to declare that the learner is disabled. This document will also be signed off by a medical professional. I've highlighted this specifically for you, so for the fact that people still actually forget about this document or not even aware that and the importance of this document. And this will obviously be given as a backup for that IT180, as I said before. Next up, we will look at how we will be discussing ETI and the benefits thereof. The ETI is an incentive introduced by SARS in 2014 to encourage organizations to hire young work seekers. For an organization to be eligible, they must, firstly, be registered for PAYE. Secondly, not in the national, provincial, local spheres of government, meaning that not part of any government state entities. For an example, you're looking at SAA, Transnet, Department of Health. Not a public entity listed, I'm so sorry guys, listed in the Public Finance Management Act, meaning not funded by state tenders. Not be a municipal entity, for an example, Johannesburg Water. And 5, not be disqualified by the Minister of Finance due to a certain condition. This could mean anything or anyone that has committed government fraud, like we can look at, if I'm thinking of an example, maybe Bosasa, the Bosasa scenario. The ETI benefits is very clear, and I think a lot of companies really do enjoy the benefits of this. ETI will reduce the employer's cost of hiring young people, reduce the number of PAYE payable, and also the wage received by the employee will remain unaffected. Employers are able to claim when the employee has a valid South African ID, age between the ages of 18 and 29, are not domestic workers, are not related or connected to the employer, earn at least a minimum wage. Those things are obviously very important. But the next fact for what we can look at is obviously the remuneration. So the employee needs to earn less than 6,499 Rand per month in total remuneration. For the first 12 months, you can claim up to 1,500 Rand per learner per month, and on the second 12 months, 750 Rand per month. The new ETI amendment amounts came out on the 1st of March 2022, and obviously it's gone up significantly because I don't know if you can remember, but the first basically the first amount claimable was 1,000 Rand per month, and the previous second 12 months was 500 Rand per month. And that's basically it on the BEE. We will take the break now for any questions that you might have on the BEE and anything that we might be able to answer for you.
Thanks, Shanae. Have we unmuted everybody so that they can ask questions if there are any questions that need to be asked here?
That is what we are doing right now. So if you have any questions, you can put your hand up and then I'll be able to unmute you. We are only doing this for 5 minutes. So if you have questions, just pop your hand up. I'll unmute you and you'll ask. No questions? Okay, we've got a hand.
I have, yes, let's go for that one first.
Alrighty. Juanita, I have unmuted you. Juanita, probably. You can just open up your mic and then you can speak.
Okay, good morning. Janita Burgins from the University of the Free State. The question that I have, the employment tax incentives, is it relevant to internships as well? Or is it applicable to internships?
Sorry, we've just had load shedding in Cape Town, but it's come back now. The question was, is it applicable to internships?
That's right.
Okay, Divan, Shanae, please, as far as I know, it is, but I just want to have that verified.
It is, Jackie.
Yes, I was going to say, as far as I know,
if they
yes,
meet
it
the
is.
requirements, yeah.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry if we lost you for a few seconds, everybody. We just, as I said, had load shedding, but we're back now.
Do we have any other questions? If you do, just pop up your hand. We've still got just over 2 minutes on the clock. So if you've got another question, pop up your hand and I will open up your mic. Jackie, you had a question.
Yes, I had a question. I just want to understand around the disabled training for people with disabilities. I just would like to emphasize or clarify that when we're talking about disabilities, it's not necessarily only physical. So we're not talking about people only that have a hearing, sight, mobility disability. We're also talking about where people are epileptic, that is considered a disability. Where people have mental health issues, that is considered a disability. So just to make sure that everybody understands that the net is quite wide there. So, but obviously then you can't just say, well, I think I'm mentally disabled. You would need a doctor's confirmation, a health certificate to confirm that. So I just wanted to mention that as another point. But I see we've got another hand.
Yes,
Katie.
we do. Thank you for that, Jackie. That's very important. Mokete, I have opened up your mic so you can go right ahead and ask your question. Just unmute and then you can ask your question. After Mokete, we're going to carry on with the presentation. So if you've got any other questions, we'll take them once Shanae is done. So Mokete, over to you.
My question is, since it is applicable to the internships, and then I see where it says the employer may claim only when, let's say the employee earns less than 6,500. So if it's above that amount, so it doesn't apply, right?
I can answer that. No, if it's above that, then no. You can only claim up till that amount.
Okay, no, thanks.
Fine. We can maybe share with you more information on the ETI, but the information is available on the SAWS website under the ETI benefit tab. But we can share that with you. There's a whole information booklet basically about how to claim, what you can do, and all of those nice things.
Well, I would recommend that if you would like to have the abbreviated version of that and not have to work through all of that, you just pop a message to us and we will book an appointment with you and just come talk you through it. It'll save you a lot of time and you'll be able to have your questions answered as well. So that's an offer open to everybody.
Happiness. Mokete, I hope you are happy. I see a thumbs up. That's perfect. Okay, Shanae, we're going to continue with the next part of the presentation. So I'm handing over to you. And then questions, please pop them in the chat box. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Okay, let me just gather everything again. Okay, so our next topic on our webinar will be the skills development matrix. I know this is always something that comes up a lot. People don't understand the categories, how to claim, but don't worry, we are here to run you through it. So firstly, we're going to look at category A, which is your bursaries and scholarships, which is an institutional-based learning through universities, colleges, schools, and ABIT providers. This will result in an achievement of a degree, diploma, or certificate. We can, however, assist you with our product called Optimi, and this product will count towards your bursary spend. We work with corporates to help support their bursars in their academic journeys through our tutoring services. And that's basically just a short summary of what we do. On bursaries, if you guys want obviously more information on that, we will run that through with you. Please leave your comments there and we will be able to set up a meeting with you or discuss that further after the webinar. Our next category is category B, which is internships, which is also institution-based but has some practical components linked to it. Learning will take place in a workplace environment, and the intern will do both theoretical and workplace components, resulting in a degree, diploma, or certificate. Our company can claim the full expenditure as well. Your company, will be able to claim the full expenditure as well as the salary or stipend of the intern. We can assist with internships within our network. Next up, we have category C, which is learnerships. It focuses on, apologies again, my throat. It refers to learnerships, which is structured learning in the workplace environment after achievement or a qualification. This will lead to knowledge and experience formally recognized through registration or licensing. The total spend on salaries, wages, and stipends count towards your skills development. We are able to assist you with our wide variety of accredited industry-specific learnerships as well. Next category is also category D, which is also referring to learnerships and apprenticeships. This also speaks to learnerships. However, this category is theoretical and work-based learning that will be formally assessed by an accredited body. This will result in an achievement of a SAQA registered qualification, certificate, occupational or professional qualification. The total spend on your salaries, wages, and stipends will count towards your skills development. Again, we are able here to assist you with our accredited industry-specific learnerships. Next up is category E, which is work integrated learning that does not require a formal contract. It must, however, be assessed by an accredited body. Credits will be awarded for registered unit standards, development, improved performance, or skills. We will be able to assist you with our industry-leading programs, which includes Adult Education and Training, or short AET, or previously known as ABIT, as well as our Foundational Learning Competence called FLC, or our Adult Senior Certificate, ASC. By upscaling your own staff, they will be able to grow within your organization, and in this category, you can claim the full spend excluding their salaries. An employee might be in a role that might need some upskilling or might even need matric as a requirement, and that's where our programs can assist your employees to get the opportunity to grow in the workplace. Next up, we have category F. Here we speak about informal training as structured information sharing or direct instructions, for example, workshops, seminars, or short courses. Development is continuous and credits will be rewarded against accredited unit standards. We are able to assist you with a wide range of informal training that is occupationally directed towards these specific programs. Claimable amount in this category is capped at 25% of the total skills spend. Last but not least, we look at category G, which is work integrated or internal training. These are work-based informal programs. This usually happens within the workplace itself, which will lead to a better understanding of one's job or will lead to improved performance and skills. Your company might have employees who lack in certain areas of development, and our short courses are able to assist them by improving their skill sets. Claimable amounts in this category is capped at 25% of the value of the training provided, but the claim, however, may not exceed more than 15% of the total value of your skills spend. We can assist you with a wide range of short courses that you might require to upskill your staff. This is basically your skills development matrix table summed up. We are now going to listen to one of our learners and how Optimi has influenced her career path.
We're having a problem with sound there.
Are we having a problem?
I just want to see, Pemi's trying to just work on it. Apologies, everybody. I don't know if there's a gremlin in the system because we tested this and it worked perfectly.
Just let me know if I can play again.
Okay, play again. Okay, you just got to go back one. There we go. No, it's not, we're not hearing the sound.
Is it?
No. Pemi, you did the interview with her. Perhaps you could just give an overall what her comments were.
Yes, I did do the interview with her. So Nokolo is she was one of the learners that were part of our 2021 learnership, and she's now a full-time employee in our supply chain management department, working at our head office. So she's moved from her position quite successfully simply because of what she said, the skills that she got from the learnership. One of the key things that she mentioned in the interview was the development of her interpersonal skills and communication. I think one of the things that she gained from the learnership was being able to, one, work in a team, effectively communicate her shortcomings and where she needs assistance. And also she was able to grow. So she was able to see what kind of assistance she needs and how to better herself in the workplace. So she definitely found it impactful. I asked if she would recommend it, and she said she definitely would. She said when you're paired, when you get into the right course and you get the right skills, then you're able to get really good placements. So yeah, those are some of her sentiments.
Thank you, Pemi. To everybody else, if you request a copy of this recording and that, you will have the interview verbatim from her. So apologies that it's not playing now. We specifically inserted this here just to let you know that we walk the talk. We don't just tell and advise people on how to do this, we do it ourselves. At Workplace, we do 13 learnerships a year. And of course, if we're able to place someone permanently, we get that lovely, lovely little bonus point that we're all after on our scorecard. But besides that, it's made a tangible difference to this individual. She's now in the formal economy, which means her opportunities are completely thrown open for her to grow and develop. So thank you for that. Over to you, Penny.
So we are at the end of our presentation. Shanae, thank you so much for everything you've shared. I know that it's been a lot to take in, but like Jackie said, we will be sharing this recording, and you'll be able to hear Nicola's interview. And you have an opportunity now to ask questions. So let's have the questions that you've been holding on to throughout the presentation. We will be taking them now. So you can pop your hand up. I will give your mic access, and then you can ask your question. So let's do that. I already have a hand up. Okay, I think it is Kobe. Yes. Kamohelo Kobe. I have just given you access, Kamohelo. Please may you just unmute yourself, and then you can go right ahead. Kamohelo?
I see he's still on mute.
Yes.
He needs to unmute.
Yeah, he needs to unmute. We've given access.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There
I
you
didn't
go.
realize that.
No problem.
Kamohelo Kode from Zima Biomed here. I just wanted to ask, so we have internships on category B, which are for the purpose of getting a qualification at the end of your internship. My question is, where would you categorize internships of people who have already obtained their qualifications?
Divan, Shanae, who's going to take that one?
I just have a question for you, please, if I may ask. What is the plan with the interns going forward?
As in the interns who are already hired and already have qualifications?
Okay, so they're employed now.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so my suggestion would be is to either place them on further learning, like maybe learnerships, to develop them even further, maybe more skills, like industry specific. I know you guys are Zimmer, so I think you're in the medical field, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
Obviously do something more industry specific that will talk to them and give them a formal qualification at the end. That would be my suggestion.
okay, got it. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
Awesome. Do we have another question? You can just raise your hand and I will give your mic access. Sure, it means everyone was listening quite attentively, which is awesome.
It does, Pimi, it does. I'm just checking there's no more hands. No, I don't see any either. All right. Well, then
All
I
right,
think
all questions were answered in the chat.
yeah.
Yes. So if you do have, if a question does come to mind after this webinar, please don't hesitate to just reach out and we will be able to get back to you and answer your questions offline. So if you missed the opportunity to ask right now, the opportunity is not gone. You can definitely do so at a later stage.
Thank you. I also wanted to say, if you would like somebody to follow up with you specifically around a question or something like that, please just pop your name now into the chat box, your name and email address, or just your name, and we will be able to contact you and follow up and answer whatever questions you may have.
I see I have got a hand up. Muketi, your hand is up and your mic already has access, so you can just unmute yourself and shoot.
Thanks, Pimelo. So I don't know if I just missed the answer for the question that was posed before. So in the case where you have graduates, right? So they already have their qualification. Which category would they fall under?
Shanae? You unmute, Shanae.
Hi, Jackie. I'm sorry. Mokete, perhaps I can just, I don't know, take this offline with you. I just wanted to understand what type of graduates we are looking at, and what is their background, if that's fine with you.
Shane, I can clarify it now if that's okay.
No problem.
So, I mean, you find in many organizations when they do internships, they don't, I think there's sometimes a misunderstanding, especially when it comes to this learning program matrix, because in understanding of other organizations, an intern is someone that you bring into the organization to give work experience, and they come already having completed their qualification. In many organizations, obviously, some of them, they do bring learners who are still working towards their qualifications. But in the instance when they bring those that have qualifications already and all they're trying to do is give them work experience for that 12 months, in that version of an internship, like how do we categorize that? Oh.
Such a very good question. You're putting me a bit on the spot here. May I come back to you on that? I don't want to give you the wrong information and then I'm not sure either.
Okay, that's 100%.
Let me just dwell on that and then I'll promise I will get feedback to you.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah. The last thing we want to do is be inaccurate. So I agree with you, Shanae. Thank you. Thank you. But that was a really good question. So if there is a prize for the best question today, you have just won it.
Do we have any other questions? I can see that we've got a few contacts in the chat, so we will definitely be getting in touch with you. If you want to leave your contact details, please make sure you just pop them over in the chat so that we can get back to you and have a one-to-one offline. Yeah, but if you want to ask your question now, shoot. I've got a hand up from Sifiso. Sifiso, I'm going to open up your mic. There we go. I've allowed your mic, so just unmute and then you can ask your question. Sifiso?
Oh, yes. Okay. Morning, colleagues. My name is Sifiso Tusi from Sandy Tusi Skills. I am the private XDF. My question is on the skills development matrix. Where can I get a copy with detailed of categories? Yes, I saw in your presentation it's summarized, but I would like to have a copy from Triple B point of view. Thank you.
Well, if you pop your mail address into the box, we will send you a copy.
Okay, thanks, colleagues.
Sure, you're welcome.
Any other?
No, I think it.
Thank you so much, Bianca. That's
I was
lovely.
going to say, Bianca, yes, you're always so supportive. Thank you for that nice message.
Okay, I think we should wrap up. Yes, this is the last call for anyone to just share your contact details if you would like more information. If you have a question you would like to take offline, then you're more than welcome to also just ask for that. We're more than happy to do that. So that's what I'm just going to give time for. Anyone who wants to just ask their question or put their contact details in the chat for us to get in touch with you after this session.
Pemi, what I'd like to suggest is, I mean, we can all log off now, and as you rightly say, thank you for everybody's time, but let's leave the window open just for if till 11 o'clock, so people can, if they want to add their names or questions, they can do so, and we can come back to everybody.
Absolutely, absolutely. We will not be closing the webinar until 11. So so thank you to everyone who joined. Thank you for your attention. We are so happy that we could add value this to your morning. If you have any questions, like we said, we're going to keep this open until 11, so don't feel pressured to ask anything immediately. If you want to wait a bit, that's also fine. But for those who do have to go, thank you very much and have a lovely day.
Thank you, everybody. Have a blessed day and be safe and warm. Bye.
Bye-bye.